We have seen changes outside of Plum Living because of what we do, in that it's provided an opportunity. It's still within our community, but it provides an opportunity for our community to talk about queer aging. It's not something that happens. No one's getting older, except on the days you look in the mirror and you go, who's that?
I'm Alexandra Henriques. I'm the Generations Community Developer at Community, which is BC's Queer Resource Center. At Generations, we serve older and aging adults. We say 40 plus, but most of our participants are 50 plus. I've seen people come in who are sorting out their life, and they need some guidance, some help with sorting out who they are. They're sorting that out at this time of life, at this age. So, and it's very important. It's not, people have this idea that it's just young people coming out, and people can come out at any time of their life, and there aren't that many supports at that time. So this is one important thing that Generations does, being here for people when they need that support. Our demographic kind of overlaps. Dean at Plum Living, he's working with older adults in general, and here at Generations we're working with queer, older and aging adults, so it overlaps.
I'm Dean Malone, CEO of Plum Living. We provide home health care services for primarily the LGBTQ community, ranging from companionship to nursing care. We provide services in people's homes who need support to be able to continue living at home. Some people need someone to talk to, someone to help prepare the meals, someone to do some cleaning. Other people who've had perhaps an acute illness might need us to come in and do some nursing care or something to help them on an interim basis before they're able to live independently again. I think probably one of the earliest stories that's had an impact on Plum Living is one person who called us. He phoned and said, my partner's dying and I don't know how to change a light bulb. Over a period of a couple of years, we spent time with him doing a number of things. He loves to shop. He's just a crazy avid shopper, but couldn't drive to get where he needed to shop, and the caregiver that we had with him was perfect in that he really enjoyed going with that client to do all of the shopping that he wanted to do. He's a collector of fine art pieces, so likely if we hadn't been there and someone who was able to understand where he was coming from, he probably wouldn't have moved off that hill and be downtown, and he probably would have lived a very lonely last bit of his life when he didn't need to. It's assumed that, you hit 65 and you're sort of done, that sexuality is not an issue to be talked about, that gender's not something that's important, and so it's just skipped over.
There's a special situation for some of our oldest participants, or some of the oldest group that we might do outreach to, and that is that these people have lived under horrible conditions when they first came out. They lived under what we traditionally call the triangle of oppression. So you have the church, the medical system. So the church, you were a sinner. The medical system, you were sick, and mostly in a psychological way. The other end of the triangle is the state, in the guise of the police and the legal system. So they were criminals.
So you can imagine then growing up at a time when being gay meant you were diagnosed as mentally ill. And so those are the people who are now in their 65 to 80s and up, who it's no wonder that they have issues with not trusting institutionalized care or government delivered care, because it was those same institutions who told them that they were mentally ill. We have clients who may be transitioning their gender from female to male, male to female. If you need personal care, the mainstream home health care providers aren't really ready when you go in and the identified gender of the individual doesn't match up with the body parts. And the reactions and the experiences people can have in terms of discrimination, isolation, the caregiver didn't come back after the first visit. Denial of aging is something that every human being goes through, whether we admit it or not. And often our expectations are unrealistic when we think, I'm good today, I'll be good tomorrow. And the thing we forget is that our life can change in an instant. When we do first client interviews, we call and when we meet with them, we say, if we come and you're not well, who should we call? Or we come and you've died. Who should we call? And many can't identify a friend to call because most of their friends have died. They certainly don't have family because they were estranged from family. And so that's just a sad way to be at the end of your life. But taking their experiences as older adults and knowing what we face in the gay community, those are the two things that made me do Plum Living. I know it will be the last thing that I do. I don't really plan on being done with that for a long time, but it's the thing I was supposed to do. And so now my job is getting it done.